So let's talk about, if anyone has any questions, let me know. But let's kind of go through just an exercise. I'm kind of curious myself. So let's just do this for fun. There's a point to everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to make kind of some analogies. So I'm opening up so I want to see the chat line. Okay, so who can name, I don't want one person telling me. This is by memory too. I don't want you looking it up. So let's just take the Protestant version of the Ten Commandments. And let's do it in order. So what's the first one? Can someone tell me what the first one is? Are you going to
love the Lord your God with all your heart?
Well, that's the first, and the second is like you love your neighbor yourself. I'm talking like the Protestant. What's the first one? I mean,
You shall have no other gods before me.
right. Okay, what's the second one? Someone else. Quick, who's number two? Let's get it in order, right?
Thou shalt not kill.
Nope.
No.
That's not the right order. What's number two?
Not make for yourself an idol.
Right, no idols. That was good. Who was that? Who said that? Is that Jer?
It's Jer.
Okay, I said not. Okay, let's get someone else a chance. He's number three. Number three. The top three are the ones that, man, you don't want, for certain, don't want to do. Come on. Got
Is
21
it thou shalt not covet?
No, that's down here. That's number 10. What's number 3?
Don't take the Lord's name in vain.
That's right. Who was that?
As Eli.
Hey, all right. So the top 3 have to do with God. So these are like, God ones. What's the next one? Number 4.
Remember the Sabbath.
Yeah, actually, that's Jer. Come on, Jer. Let someone else. So no more.
I'm big on 4.
Yeah, me too. Number 5.
Honor your father and mother.
That's right. Okay. Number 6, Bruce. Bruce, you said it.
I should not steal.
Yeah. Kill. Number 7.
I should not steal.
Pardon me?
Steal.
Nope.
Shall not murder.
No, that's kill. Murder and kill is the same. What's one after kill? Like
7 is adultery.
right.
Don't commit adultery.
Adultery. Right. Okay, number 8.
Shall not steal.
There you go.
Steal. Let's steal.
Number 9.
Don't bear false witness.
Yep. And then finally, number
Don't
10.
covet.
Covet wife, neighbor's things. Okay. Wow. So at least you kind of knew some of them, right? Didn't exactly know what order it's in. But the order, I don't know, I think the order is important, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so these are not suggestions. God came down, or Moses came down from the mountain, and this is how we judge. This is how God judges us, right? So it's almost like the 18-player steps. I'm not equating it at all, okay? But what I'm saying is that these are mortal death to you if these things are the things that, you know, you don't have right in your life. Okay, this is not meant to preach to you. I'm just telling you why these are important, okay? Why these are important. And when you kind of look at it for yourself, you know, in what ways in my life had I put other gods before God? Other things that I honor higher than I honor God in my life, you know? Taking the Lord's name in vain when you do the GD thing, right? Do you honor your father and mother? Like, what are you doing to honor your father and mother? You know, kill. Are you for the death penalty? Because in my opinion, death penalties, you know, anyway, we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to, you can like, what does Christ say about adultery? When you look at a woman with lust in your heart, you've committed adultery. So you know, you went against the seventh commandment. Stealing, there's a lot of subtle things here. False witness, covet. I mean, but these are hardcore. These are the elements of how we judge, how God judges us, right? Because God is the ultimate judge. So, okay. Now, I'm not meaning to preach at you, but I want you to think. So I'm trying to get you to think. And so in our business, you know, sales, we do two things, sales and we recruit. Okay. What do you think are the 10 commandments or whatever? You know, because this is for your soul. This is what will kill your soul. This is what will kill your soul if you don't do these things, or if you do these things, right? We're talking eternal damnation and death here. Okay. What is eternal damnation and death in your sales? So throw some out, man. I'm not going to put anything in your head. You come up with it, not me. I mean, I could reel these things off, but I want you to tell me what you think is mortal death to your sales business in what we do. So I'm here waiting.
Lying to clients.
Okay. I'm not going to put it, there's not really an order. Lying to clients to make a sale. Yep, that's pretty bad. Mischaracterizing a product, saying something that is not true, you know, just to make a sale. That's also stealing from the insurance company, isn't it? Right? You're stealing from the insurance company because you're selling under false pretenses. And eventually you could steal from the client in that the client's paying money for something that the product's not going to do. So that's pretty serious. Lying to clients.
Falsifying documents.
Yep. Right? Some people forging signatures. Well, the client would want me to do this anyway. Forging initials. Like when you have to cross out a date and redate it, right? Even the client gave you permission, that's illegal. You got to go through the pain in the butt of going to the client's house. I don't care if they're 3 hours away. You got to get the client's initials on that change, okay? Because you're the one that made the error. So you have to own up to the error, and you got to go out of your way to make it right. Falsifying documents. Can't do that, man. What's another one? What other things? I mean, let's get out of yeah, all those legal things, for sure. What other things? What else will kill your business? Maybe it's a little bit like honoring the Sabbath. You know, do you think if you don't know what the hell you're doing, sorry. If you don't know what you're doing, what's another thing that will kill your business? I don't want to lead you, guys.
Not checking pending.
Yeah, checking pending, managing your business. Because you got to get your business issue paid, right? Managing pending, making sure your client's stuff is correct. I had to go back and I answered a question wrong. Okay, the guy one of my clients just recently had a heart attack over 12 months ago, but before 24 months. And I answered the question wrong, and then he got declined. And it was like, why did he get declined? And I saw I answered the stupid question wrong. I said, oh man, what do I got to do? I got to resubmit the app with the answer correctly so he's eligible for graded benefit. I mean, what a pain in the butt, but you can't just change that answer and have the client sign an amendment. No, we had to do a whole new e-app again, and pain in the butt. But, you know, I had to manage that and make sure that the client gets their policy issued, okay? What's another one? What will kill your business? What else will kill your business?
Not knowing your product.
Knowledge. Right, product knowledge. What other knowledge? I think sales knowledge, right? Learning how to sell. Like Joy, where do you get this? Where do you get product knowledge from and sales knowledge from?
I go on those courses on your website and on the Alliance, and I go into the different companies and just read about their products.
So do you think like any university, Alliance University can help?
Oh, absolutely.
Like a product call, like our product call at 1 o'clock, do you think our product call helps?
It always helps.
Always helps. Do you think our sales training webinar helps? How about calling upline, calling for
Absolutely.
help? Communication.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
I mean, what are the different ways that we provide knowledge to you? Like we do it a whole bunch of ways, don't we? But if you're never around,
These calls,
go ahead.
yeah, these calls are amazing. Yeah, these calls I learn more on the calls, at least as much on the calls as I do just reading. I read myself to sleep almost every night just reading about products.
Good for you. Knowledge, man. Do you call the underwriters to get knowledge on whether or not they can cover a client? You know, other ways to get knowledge. Are you on all the webinars? Like, it's funny how people will pick and choose what to be on and then they decide, well, I don't really need that, when it was the one they needed to hear, right? It's, how do you know what you need unless you get on the call and listen to it? Like, how do you know you're not going to benefit? That's what kind of cracks me up when people make these decisions, you know, not to be on, right? That's a good one, Pat. Time management. Gosh, that will kill you. There's income producing activities, and then there's time wasting activities. How many times have we been stuck here and not have done that, right? Like when someone says, oh, I made 25 dials. Oh, great. What'd that take you, half an hour? Okay, so what did you do with your other 3 hours that you devoted to the business? You know, it's tremendously convicting. Just like this is convicting. Like as we wrote this down, did you do a checklist in your head where you failed in these areas? Right? So maybe you can think about where your business is. So let me ask you, What's killing you? Why aren't you doing 40 appointments a week if you're full-time? And if you're part-time, how come you're not booking 20 appointments a week? So let's take it from there, right? You know, we talk about what sin is in our life that keeps us from getting closer to God. Well, what sin here is in your life that keeps you from doing 20 appointments a week part-time or 40 appointments a week full-time? So throw it out there. Tell me what's holding you back. I'm just going to sit and wait.
Not doing the work.
You got to know how to close the deal.
Great. So Bruce, why don't you think people do the work?
Self-confidence, a lot of it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You start a job with a company, brand new job, never done it before. They hired you because they saw potential. So do you decide not to go in today because you're not confident?
No. No.
You still go in, right?
Yep.
Why? But I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I just don't know if I could do the job. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go in to do the job.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That one cracks me up the most. I don't care if you don't have confidence. I care that you do the work. I care that you do the work because you'll gain confidence by doing the work. When you dial the phone, I don't expect you to be confident. I just expect you to dial the phone. I expect you to overcome. Do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like what's funny is that if you apply it to a job, you'd be fired, wouldn't you?
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Closing the sale, this comes back to knowledge. So if you can't close the sale, what are you doing? Are you calling me? Are you getting coaching? Are you trying to reach out to people that can help you? Right? And that's also part of managing pending. If you're closing but not getting it issued, who can you talk to that can help you with managing your pending? Like it's all reaching out, right? It's not communicating. What's another one? I mean, I really like that one, not doing the work, self-confidence. What's another one? You can also call this sloth, right? 7 deadly sins, sloth, just total laziness. They're just people that are lazy. They know what they got to do, but they just don't want to do it. They're lazy. That's actually over here, kind of over here, the 7 deadly sins.
What about dealing with rejection?
Yeah, that's another one, like self-confidence. Dealing with rejection. So, okay, so let me just say this before we go on, that sales has a lot of rejection. Can someone say an amen? Do we all know that sales has rejection? Do we all know that you're not going to close 100%? Do we all know that you're not going to book 100% of your appointments? Okay. I mean, it's kind of like, it's funny how that is. And maybe I remember how it sucks to be rejected. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what do? Do you roll over and pee on yourself, or do you figure out how to overcome it? Like, okay, what I got to do? What I got to do to overcome this? How do I get better? Right? So it's either you go into this mental, emotional thing. I think a lot of this not doing the work, what you guys are talking about is the emotions involved with these issues. Everyone gets rejected, right? But do you go out and hang yourself and kill yourself? Some people do. Some people do. No one loves me. I'm going to go kill myself. That's the ultimate in despair. You're not supposed to be in despair. You're supposed to live a life of victory, figuring out, okay, I got to overcome this. This is temporary. This is all temporary, right? But it's being sucked in. That's a commandment, man. Thou shalt not get emotional about sales. Man, can you imagine if you controlled your emotions about sales? Can you imagine how much better you'd be? Not listening to clients. How about just not listening? This is important. So from the client perspective, it means you don't give a crap about the client when you don't listen to a client. It just means you're selfish. You're not looking at how can I help this client and listening to what they're looking for, what they're needing. Listen how their voice changes on the phone. Just hearing and being very empathetic. This is probably the biggest thing is empathy. Okay. Understanding your client, really listening to them. Thou shalt have empathy for your client. Listening. How about listening to coaching? Stuff that Andy Albright says or that I recommend, like the fact that, you don't have enough leads. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get busy if you keep beating up the same old leads that you got? Like, what is your plan? Again, I'm putting words in your mouth, but, not listening to clients, not listening to coaching from people who are doing better than you. Like, what is Megan Wood doing? What are these people doing that you can incorporate in what you're doing? Okay. Because look, if you're doing what she's doing, you'd be getting her results. So there's something you're not doing that she's doing, right? What successful people do. That'll kill you. It's another one.
Well, I'm still kind of on closing the sale, but you've got to ask people to make a decision. I mean, if you never ask, you can provide them with all the information all day long. But you really have to ask for the order and assume you're going to get it.
Yeah. I say it like this. Let's get started with $100 a month. Hey, Joe, let's go ahead and just get this started. We got to see if you get approved anyway, so we don't even know if you can get approved. But let's get started at $100 a month, option 2, and then let's see if we can get you approved. I mean, how hard's that? The let's get started close. I mean, you wanted, okay, remind me, you wanted this because?
Well, yeah, the saddest thing is you can do all those other things right. But if you don't ask for the order, you may not get it. They're sitting there maybe even waiting for you to ask them.
Yeah, that is true. You wish they would say, well, what do I need to do? Tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Well, you got to suggest it to them. You got to not put words in their mouth, but you got to ask them. So why don't we get started with, option 2. Let's see if you can get approved. Okay, we don't even know if you're approved yet. So let's get started with $100 a month. Sound good to you, Joe? Right? What's another commandment on the sales and recruiting side? Who else?
Not investing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a business after all. You're all at least sole proprietors. It's kind of like people saying, going to a fireplace and saying, give me heat. But you don't get any heat unless you put wood in the fireplace. Yeah, you got to put wood in the fireplace, man. Anybody else? Last one. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We I think probably there's a lack of because you all know. You all know what's holding you back. Like you all know what's holding you back from on this side too. Like there's some of these things that is your root. I call it root sin, and a lot of it is based on like here, everyone has the root cause of their sin in their life, it can be selfishness. That's probably one of the main root causes of sin, selfishness. Think about yourself before other people, Here, this could be the same thing here. Maybe you're not focusing on your client, you're focusing on woe is me, you're focusing on, your issues you're trying to overcome, instead of focusing on how I can help the client better. Because when you focus on how I can help the client better, all of a sudden it's like, how can I get better to serve a client? And then you start going after the knowledge, right? You're serving your clients by making sure those policies are getting issued on behalf of your client. You're certainly not lying or falsifying documents. It doesn't help your client, right? You're managing time so you can help more clients, right? You're becoming selfless. Here's the power of being selfless, is that when you focus on giving yourself away to helping your clients, managing your time better so you can help more clients than less clients, right? Not caring about the emotions of it, putting the emotions aside and dealing with what are the skill things that you need to get in line so you can help your clients make a decision to protect their families, right? Closing the sale. You walk out of there and you did not take care of that client. They go and get in a car accident the next day. They could have had insurance, but because you didn't attend enough webinars, you didn't do your job to get your knowledge base and your skill base up there, you got overcome by emotion, decided not to attend the next sales webinar when that very thing you needed was on that webinar, right? Again, selfishness. I think indulging yourself in your emotions is a sense of selfishness. Indulging yourself in your emotions that hold you back, right, is a form of selfishness. Not listening because you know what's right. That's, again, not caring about your client, not caring about what they need, listening to them. Listening to coaching because the people that are coaching you and the successful people that are teaching you are doing it better than you are. And it could be ego, your ego. Again,
That's what I was going to say. It is your ego when you don't listen.
right. And that's selfishness, your selfish ego, right? Yeah, man, you guys hit it. Selfishness versus selflessness. When you're selfless over here, right, you're not doing these other things. You know that God is number one in your life. You're going to do all the things that honor God in your life, right? You're doing things to honor your father and mother. You're not going to kill people. You're not going to commit abortion. Adultery, you're not looking at another person's spouse with lust in your heart. You're not stealing from the company. You're not stealing from your upline. You know what? This one here just really irks me. When you have a chargeback and you let your upline pay for your chargeback, or you have a lead roll up, you are stealing from your upline. That is the 8th commandment that you're committing when you steal from your upline. When you let lead debt roll up, you let chargebacks roll up, and your upline sucks it up for you, you are stealing. How am I stealing, Alex? Because you're responsible for that. You got paid a commission on it. It gets charged back. you keep that commission, the roll-up goes to your upline, you're stealing from your upline. Anyway.
Alex?
Selflessness. Yeah,
Can I say one more thing?
geez, please.
I think that ideally, in all my years of sales, when I've been the best, it's when I've been myself. And I think if you find out who you think you are, and you can be that person with complete strangers, you begin break down the barriers that you create for yourself by trying to be something you're not.
Okay, I'm going to modify that. Best version of yourself. See, because you can be yourself and be the crappy version of you, right? You can be the selfish version of you, or you can be the best version of you. Okay, right? It's not, and I know there's the difference really is what we're talking about here is kind of your core. You know, you're not trying to be false as far as trying to put on an act that you think you're like someone else because you think that person, you know, being true to yourself and being who you are, but being the best version of who you are, not being the crappy version of who you are. Okay. And we have to strive to be the best version of ourselves every day because we can fall into that sinful nature, right? How many of us fall into that sinful nature? That sinful nature is not going to help us, right? But being the best version of ourselves will. Does that make sense? So anyway, I hope this exercise made sense to y'all. I don't know if it did. Anyway, think about it, man. Think about where your life is and what your life's about and what you're trying to accomplish in your life. And let's determine how you can become better at who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. And let's get rid of the selfishness and the indulging yourself in the emotions and get out and know exactly what you got to do to become better and then implement that game plan. All right. I'm here to help you, whatever you need. Okay. So anyway, man, God bless everybody. I hope this helped. Man, let's get on the leaderboard. Don't let me be number one in my own agency. Again, very embarrassing for me, but I want you to be better than me. All right. So God bless, man. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody. Take care.